Alright, so I'm going to be attempting to repair this drop alt keyboard. Alright, so customer brought this in. I opened it up and it looked like it was missing one of these little switch things. Okay, so we're going to see if replacing that is going to fix it. Anyways, we're going to remove all the screws using a PH2 or JIS2 screwdriver. I keep all the screws in order by putting them flat side down like that on my desk. In the pattern I remove them. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I actually have my soldering iron warming up right now, and then I have some flux that I'm gonna just add. Most likely I'm just gonna have to heat up the pieces to get it to solder into place. Oops. Okay. Alright, so there's 3 along the top and 4 along this bottom area. Okay, so we're going to remove all those screws. Once we remove all the screws, we can actually lift this metal piece out. Okay, just like that. And we can actually set this solid metal piece aside. Very nice and solid. Okay, if you want, you can also remove this plastic piece. So this, you kind of just get underneath and pop it up. You want to kind of follow it along and pull that out. Okay, we're going to set that aside as well. Alright, as you can see, for some reason one is missing here. I don't know why. It's very strange. I don't know how it would have just fallen off on its own. It doesn't look like it was, like the solder was done properly. If you look at this, the solder wasn't even really stuck to that switch, so it's very strange. Alright, anyways, the customer was able to find these, so I don't know, they got a whole pack of like a whole bunch of them. So we're just gonna stick these back on. So this is how it looks on the other side. Okay, you can see it has like these raised circles, and it just flips over like that. And these 2 parts are supposed to be soldered down. So we're just gonna line this up, stick that into place. Okay. Let me take a look at the other ones. Yeah, all the other ones look to be soldered into place. So I don't know what's going on with that one, why that's not soldered in. Sorry, I'm looking closely at all the little pieces to make sure they're soldered. They look good. So I don't know why it was just... Oh, is this one also coming out? Okay, so this one's also coming out. And not only is it coming out, but it like tore up part of the trace here. So we're gonna have to solder that one in, and we're gonna solder this one down. Oh, actually several of them are coming out. If you look at it, this one's also coming out. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out here. Basically, I'm gonna add some flux to each one of these things, and I'm gonna try and solder them back into place. The problem is I don't know about the little trace leads here. Okay, because they got torn up, so I don't know how those are going to work, but we're gonna solder those things into place. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of the flux here. Okay, so this one's bad. I'm going to just put a little flux there, and then when we heat it up, the solder should hopefully flow into place. Okay, shouldn't really need too much. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this now. I actually have too much water on the sponge. Okay, give me a second, I'm getting messages. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna do, now that we added the flux there, we're gonna hold this down into place, heat it up, and hopefully that will solder it down. Okay. Oh, it looks like the solder pads are actually ripped out. So if that's the case, adding solder to this isn't going to fix anything. I guess we can fix these to where these are soldered down, but the pads are actually torn up. So it's actually not going to stay in place. All right. But we'll try and solder these 2 down and see. I don't know why those solder joints are all screwed up. Anyways, we're gonna hold this down. I'm gonna heat that up, melt the solder into place. Okay. Then we just let it cool, and that's holding itself, right? Hold this one down, same thing. Put that into place. And now that holds itself. Yeah, I don't know why they popped out on their own and they're like ripped up. I feel like these actually need more solder. They didn't put enough, so kind of needs a bit more. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can add a little solder to it. Solder went too high. Oh, it's in there. Okay. Let's try and put a little more over here. Okay. All right, so I don't know why those ones got ripped out on their own. I'm gonna use a little paper towel and clean up the flux there. Okay. So I guess that key is gonna work again. But again, I don't know how it ripped up the trace for these other ones. So they're probably not gonna work right. Anyways, now that I cleaned out the flux, I'm gonna use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to clean it a little bit better. Okay. Alright, just clean off the orangey yellow stuff. It's not going to clean perfectly, but we kind of want to just get it cleaned up a bit. Alright, so there were two that were messed up. This is one, and this is one. Oh yeah, I should have looked closer. As you can see, it ripped the pad off of there, so there's no way you can stick that back down. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. It looks like this. I might be able to solder a like very thin wire directly onto that, and that might fix it. Yeah, it looks like this. It looks like that trace is supposed to go to this little piece here, and there's no way to make it stay down. I don't know if I could use some super glue to hold that into place, because if this thing just pops back out, then the switch is basically not going to be making proper contact. Is it not lining up with the little pin? So if you look in here, there's the pin sticking out of here, but this one, the pin's not sticking out. So somebody did something where it's not lining up right and the pin's not coming through. And it's like that on both sides, actually. So I wonder if I can remove these two and somehow fix it. Let me see. I'm gonna look at all of them to make sure they look okay. Okay, these all have the two pins coming through. So these are called Kailh, Kailh. All right, anyways, I'm just making sure that these little 2 pins, if you can see, are going through each switch. And the ones that are broken, you can actually see that the pins are not going through here. So basically, they just forced it down and it didn't go into the pins, and that's why it's ripping out on its own. Okay. This one actually also looks like it's messed up. If you look at this, it didn't get ripped out, but if you look at it, there's no pin coming through here, right? You see there's the pin going through there, but not through there. All right, this one too. So this one is probably gonna break eventually as well. Basically, they didn't put those little switches on right, and because of that, like with this one, it ripped itself out. I'm gonna see if I can heat this up and then remove it. I don't know if that's gonna be possible, but we'll find out. Okay. Okay, it looks like it's coming up. There we go. All right, so if you take a look at this, okay, so underneath, this is the copper, and you can see the pad got ripped out. And if you look at this, you see that pin? It got folded over. That's not what we want, okay? And that's the problem. Those pins, whoever put these things on from the factory or whatever, they didn't do it right, and those things got folded over, and because they got folded over, now they are not connecting properly. So I'm gonna try and bend this back up a little bit. Okay, I don't know if there's a way, if I can possibly completely bend this straight up. Yeah, it doesn't want to bend straight up. I'm gonna have to use like a combination of like needle nose pliers and tweezers. Okay, got that up. Let's try with the tweezers if I can somehow bend it straight. Let me zoom in here. Okay. Okay, the needle nose pliers or the tweezers are kind of working. Okay, maybe I'll use that, and then I'll use the needle nose pliers to straighten it out if possible. Okay, so it's kind of, it won't go completely straight apparently, but hopefully that's enough to where I can actually put this little switch back on, and hopefully it will go in right. Let's try and get this back in. Nope, it didn't go in right. I still don't see the pin going in properly. Actually, it's probably because it's discolored. I mean, it's definitely a lot better now. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this down and I'm gonna melt that back into place. We are gonna put a little bit of the flux there to try and get it to flow better. Okay, and we'll just heat this back up. Okay, that's staying in place. Again, these ones are too screwed up. They're not going to stay in place. They got ripped out. I'm going to see if I can put like a very thin wire to that. Let's remove the other one that's screwed up. So this one as well. Okay. There we go. Okay. Of course, this one's also ripped out. Ouch. Ouch. I grabbed it on the part I was heating up, and that was really hot. Okay, again, you can see here, this piece, the trace got torn out, okay? And it's no longer stuck to where it should be right there. So I'm gonna try and solder like a very thin wire to that and then onto this. As you can see, this one is also bent. So we're gonna try and bend that pin back up the right way. Okay, it looks like it's working. Okay. I don't know if I should do that for the ones that, I don't know if I should do that for all of them, because again, some of them are messed up, but they're not ripping out. Anyways, let's get this lined up again and push that down. The pin's not coming completely through. So once they bend like that, they're not as tall, I guess. Okay, I tried pulling it up a bit more. And I'll kind of try and center it a bit more. Sorry, I know I'm going out of view a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's see if this goes back in now. That little piece got... Let's see what we can do. Alright, line that up. Yeah, it doesn't want to go perfectly. Or maybe it's just darker, so it's hard to tell. I don't know. Anyways, let's get this thing back in. And then we're going to try and add a tiny bit of wire to reconnect to that. Okay, let's solder this back in. Again, we're going to add a tiny bit of flux there. And we'll just heat this up. Okay, we'll hold this down and try and melt this in. Ooh, I almost burned my finger off. Okay. Alright. Okay, are there any more messed up ones that I need to fix? I mean, there's some where I don't see the pin coming through. I wonder if I should fix those. Let's see. Or is it just they're dark? Like this one doesn't look right. This one here. If you look at that, you can see one pin. Come on. You can see one pin, but not on the right side. So it's always the one on the right side that's messed up. There's actually multiple. I don't want to risk breaking them while doing that. So let me try and solder this wire here first. We'll see what we can do. And yeah, let me see if I even have this super tiny wire stuff that's made for iPhones, iPhone jump wire. It's like super thin. Okay, so we have this really thin wire. You can see how thin that is. All right, and we'll see if we can somehow get a tiny piece of this wire. Man, this stuff is super thin. like a hair. Okay. Yeah, it's super thin, this thing. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Alright, I need some scissors. Let me get some scissors and I'll be back. Right back, got some scissors. Let's go ahead and cut a tiny piece of this wire and see what we can do. This stuff is, I don't know how I'm gonna do this because it's very small. Okay. I don't even know how I'm gonna like pick this up to maneuver it. Let's try it with the tweezers. Can't even pick it up. This wire's so thin. I might need some better tweezers to do this. I like try and pick it up and then it disappears. Okay, so we got this ultra tiny thin fine hair wire stuff. Let's see if we can somehow solder this on. Okay, so we have this tiny one and the one over here that's completely also ripped, I think, out. Okay, well, it used to be on there. Okay, so I'm gonna have to basically jump it across like this, and as you can see, this is already too much wire. So I'm gonna cut this piece in half. Man, it's like harder than cutting a hair. It's so tiny. Okay, how am I gonna solder this on here? So probably what I need to do is I need to add more solder to the end of this, so I have a way to kind of stick that on. If I can get this tiny wire onto that, then I think we should be okay. But this is super tiny, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this. One thing I can try is I can try the liquid solder stuff that I have. Let me try using that. A solder paste. Okay. So we'll try this solder paste and see if we can get that to go. So we have this little syringe with solder. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some right there. Okay, it's a very tiny amount. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll try. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. My hand's not steady enough. Let me see here. Can I do this? Yeah, it's too tiny. Let me see. I'm gonna lower the temperature of this thing. It's really hot. How am I gonna solder this? I might not be able to do this in camera because my head will be in the way. Okay, I think it actually stuck on there. But can we maneuver the excess piece? It's so tiny I can't even see. Okay, I think it's stuck on. So I moved that wire there. We're gonna put a little bit of this stuff and just try and melt this in place. So, okay. I don't know if you can see that gray stuff I added. We're just gonna now melt that into place. Okay. Now I'm going to try moving it with the tweezer and see if it's in place here. Okay, I think it's good. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the other one and we'll see if that works. Did I do with that other tiny piece? Uh-oh. Gosh, it's so thin and tiny I lost that wire. Okay, I'm gonna just try and add some more of the paste to this one here. That went on top of the chip. I didn't mean to do it there. Okay, I think I need to clean it off first because I put it on top on accident. Okay. All right, let me see if I can find that one little piece of copper wire. I probably need to cut a new one because it's so tiny. I'm pretty sure I like dropped it somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna cut another super tiny piece of that wire. Give me a second, let's see who's messaging. Okay. All right, let's get another super tiny piece. Yeah, this is a huge pain. All right, you see this tiny wire? Cut a super tiny piece of this off. All right. This stuff is so tiny. Okay, I can barely even see where it is on my desk. Okay, I got it, I think. Let's see if I can pick it up. Okay, you can see we got that tiny little piece. Alright, so we're going to try and solder it to that thing again. Just like last time. Okay, I'm going to clean the soldering iron a little bit. Okay, let's burn off the coating here. Okay, if my head gets in the way, I'm sorry because I can't really see what I'm recording while I'm trying to see this. Didn't stick. Okay, looks like it's stuck now. Alright, now that it's stuck there, rotate this back over onto this piece. Technically, we can just stick this anywhere on this square. So I'm going to wrap it around here. Okay. Then we're going to add a little more of this stuff. Okay. Then we're just going to melt that. don't know if it's stuck. I think I might need to add more. Okay, let's see if that's stuck. We're going to try and move it with the tweezers. Oh, that didn't stick. The square like moved away. It's like not touching anymore. I'm going to try and put it on the side of it here. Okay, I think it's stuck on now. Let's check. Yep, okay. So it's stuck now. Double check this one. Seems okay. All right, hopefully none of the other ones are broken. But that's pretty much it. I'm just going to clean off the old, or the flux that's left over with some rubbing alcohol, and hopefully everything should be good to go. We're just going to put it all back together. All right, and that's it. So I'm going to clean this off first. First, I'll just use a regular dry paper towel to kind of get out most of the stuff. I have to be a little careful in this area because we don't want to ruin the wires that we just soldered down. There we go. Okay. And we're going to get some rubbing alcohol on here and clean that up. And then we're going to plug it in and hope that we fixed it. We can't really get all the flux out, but just get what you can. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead now and just put this thing back together and hope for the best. Okay, I'm going to zoom out here. I actually need to flow the soldering iron to make sure that it stays clean, so let me do that real quick. I think I put too much water on the sponge, so it's not working right. I need to... Okay, let me heat that back up. Anyways, we'll reassemble this, and then that's pretty much it. So we're gonna line up these little pieces, stick it all back down again. Okay, we'll take this metal plate, put it back on top. All right, switch back to the PH2 or JAS2 screwdriver and get all the screws in. And that should be all there is to it. I don't know if this is gonna be a helpful video to some people, but as you saw, we had to replace some of those pieces. Okay. And hopefully that will fix it all. I'm just loosely fitting these screws first to make sure everything's lined up. And once we got everything lined up, we can go ahead and tighten it down. Okay. Good. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Alright, so after testing, apparently the backspace key and this key doesn't work. This one probably doesn't work either, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to do, so I don't know. But when I looked at the bottom here, as you can see, this key is this one, that pin's not going through. The backspace key, that pin's not going through, and the hyphen dash whatever key, that's not going through either. So I'm gonna try and pull those out, and we'll see if we can fix it. Okay, so clean up my soldering iron. Alright, and let's see if we can remove those. Okay, so I think this was, yep. Okay, let's see if we can somehow remove these and then fix them. So I don't know how I'll remove it because I can't heat up both sides at the same time. So I don't know how I'm gonna remove this, but we'll see. Okay, we'll try and heat that up a little bit at a time. I'll try with the needle nose pliers. Oh, what did I just knock down? Well, okay, I'll have to look for that later. Okay, I'm gonna try and grab this with the needle nose pliers and heat this up. Okay, that worked. It pulled up a little bit. I'm gonna grab the other side and heat it up and try and pull that out. That really doesn't want to come out. It's coming out a tiny bit. There we go. Right, so we'll probably have to lift a little at a time. Let's go back to this side and we'll lift this out. There we go. Okay, and as you can see, the metal pin here, this one's even worse. It's like bent completely down. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, who messed with this to where, how do they get bent down so much like that? Do they come out from the other side? Let's see. Maybe that's what's going on. Can we pop these out from the other side? I don't have the right tool to do that. So, let's see. Can I do it with this tweezer? And my finger. Let's try and pop this up. I got one off before. Ow. Okay. Now oh no, I stabbed myself. So that came out, but what about, how do you get the other piece off? Does this come off completely? Well, I don't know how to get it out from that side, so we're just gonna put this back. Is there a right side up here? Okay, it goes this way. Alright, anyways, the switch under here is bent, so what we're going to have to do, we have to lift that out and somehow repair that. I'm going to use the small flathead screwdriver again and see if I can lift that out. Turn off the thing for now. How did these get bent like that? Let's try it with 2 flathead screwdrivers. There has to be, does it push out from the other side? Is it possible to push this through? Okay, let me see here, because this does push down a little bit. I shouldn't have put this back, huh? Now I have to get it back out. I'm gonna stab myself again, probably. There we go. How do you get these things off? Is there a secret to this? It pushes a little bit in, not completely. Okay. So I'm assuming there's some special tool to get these out, to get these switches out completely. I don't have that tool. The customer didn't give me the tools. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Can I just yank this out somehow? Doesn't want to come out all the way, so I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I have to try and just get it out through this side, I guess. I'm gonna try and keep holding this down. Bend this out. Well, it's twisting, but I don't want to twist it. I'm trying to pry it out. What do I do? Can I use the SIM card eject tool? Okay, I think it's lifting up. There we go. All right. We can grab this piece, kind of, and bend it back up. There we go. All right, and we'll use this to grab it and completely straighten this out. Okay, there we go. That one's completely straight out now. Now we should be able to put this back into place. Uh-oh, this metal pin is like broken. Okay, line that up, line that up. Push that down into place. It's not going in, come on. Okay, I don't know if it's going in now. I think I have to melt this to get it to go back down, because I think they are, I think the pins are lined up now. If I take this out, will it stay? Okay, oh no, this one completely ripped out. I have to straighten this up. Yeah, these pins got, someone completely destroyed these. I think they tried to customize it and then damaged those pins. Okay, let's see if we can melt it down into place now. So I'm gonna hold this down and melt that. Good. Alright, that side went. Put this down, melt that, and hold that into place. Perfect. Oops. Okay. Alright, that's good. Now we gotta lift out the backspace key here and then this last one here. Man, okay. So let me grab this. this up. Okay, got that side. Go. And yep, that one's bent too, so whoever did this messed up all these keys underneath. Alright, so we're gonna have to bend that up as well. With the tweezers. Only one went up. Come on, I need both of you. Man, this is like... I need a special hook thing to grab these things. Okay, there we go. Gotta flatten them out. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. Not lining up right. Okay, this is a huge pain. Man, how did they mess these up so bad like this? Okay, there we go. Let's get this one back in. There we go, perfect. This one came out and went back in a lot easier. Okay, perfect. Okay. Jeez. Okay. At least the traces didn't get ripped out on these, so I don't have to redo those. Alright, we got one more here, and I think that's the last one. Okay. We're gonna go to this side and do the same thing. Yep, this one's even worse. It's completely bent flat down. Can I get this back out with the tweezers again? Yeah, it's really hard to do this with the tweezers. I might have to use the... Okay, I guess we'll use the flathead screwdriver and the thing again. Thing is, I think I have to keep this pressed down at the same time. you get these keys out? There has to be a way to get these keys completely out. There must be a special tool that lets you get these out. I don't know what to do or how to keep this down while I'm trying to lift the thing out. It's kind of working. I need to go from both sides at the same time or it doesn't work. And grab it with the needle nose pliers. These needle nose pliers are a little bit too thick. How do I do this one? This one keeps wanting to pop itself back out. Okay, there we go. We got one up. Did we get both of them or just one? Come on. There we go. Okay. That was a huge pain. Gotta bend these straight upwards. All right. Got that one. Let's go ahead and put this last piece back in place. Hopefully these keys will work and we'll be good to go. Okay. All right, so we're gonna hold this down, hold that into place. Ouch. Should have been touching the metal piece. Okay. All right, so that should be it. Assuming, because all the rest seem to work okay. Let me double check one more time. Yeah, these all got bent up slightly because of that. But they do look better now. So we're gonna put this key back in and then we're gonna test all the keys and hopefully everything should be good. So let's zoom back out, put this thing back together, and we should be good to go. All right, I'm gonna put all these little tools away. I'm gonna switch back over to the PH or JIS2 screwdriver. Put these pieces back on. Okay. And you guys already saw this part, so you're welcome to just fast forward, skip over, but that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, let's get these last few screws in, and we should be good to go. Alright, last one. And there we go. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.